Welcome to the end of year 1 Space 1999 video. I will be reacting to year 2. I just wanted to pause and ruminate for a bit. I'm going to start with a reaction to a message from Moonbase Alpha. I was told it does mostly tie into season 1 and has very few season 2 spoilers in it. So I'm going to trust the comments and hope you're right. I have no idea what it's going to be about, so I'm going to go give it a try.
We cannot know if you will receive this message, or if memory survives or even exists in your time of who we were, what our purpose was, and the disaster that took us on our random journey through the infinite reaches of space and time. We calculate it is some 20 years since we lost contact with you.
Oh.
For us, this has been a time of dangers overcome, knowledge revealed, of mysteries encountered, perceptions altered, and a growing conviction of a higher purpose in everything that we have witnessed and endured.
Yes.
And overcoming our greatest test, the struggle to hold true to our unique birthright, the humanity that is common to all of us from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
For some time now, our life support systems have shown increasing decay. Total failure, though not imminent, seems inevitable. Last week, however, we encountered an intense gravitational disturbance which has catapulted our moon into this totally unknown solar system.
Ooh.
Sensors indicate one planet is habitable, but it will only be in range for 6 short days. So the painful collective decision was taken to abandon Alpha. One that was greatly disputed. As I speak now, Operation Exodus has taken place. Commander Koenig and others have begun to settle on our new world, Terra Alpha.
Terra Alpha.
The final eagle waits for me, for I am the last person to abandon the base. Soon the planet will be out of range, and though predictions indicate a slingshot effect will return the moon to the planet in 25 years, we cannot be certain. Nor can we base our actions on it occurring. Moonbase Alpha is no more.
Wow.
For many of us, it was our most difficult decision.
Oh my.
Though deserted and silent now, Alpha was our refuge. We can never forget our life here. The good and happy times, as well as our moments of despair and heartbreak.
Yeah.
Here, friendships flourished. Bonds were forged. It was Maya the Psychon who
That must be
helped us
season
to
2.
understand that the memory of what we shared here will forever remain part of the very fabric of this place. Our home. I am making this transmission firstly to those of you who knew of our existence and wondered what became of us.
Uh-huh.
And finally, we want you all to know that we, the people of Moonbase Alpha, did exist.
Yes, you did.
Our presence, the knowledge of Earth and her people, their strengths and weaknesses, pride and arrogance, genius and insignificance, and to state our belief that although our moon's progress was random, our odyssey does have a purpose, one still in the act of revealing itself. It is time for me to end this brief message and to face the uncertain life and great challenges on our new world. Computer's final task will be to encode this message to Professor Bergman, Luke and Anna on your new Arcadia.
Oh yeah, Arcadia.
We will never forget you. And to Alpha, wherever you go on your onward journey, our hearts will go with you.
Yes, they will.
And hope for reunion in the future will not fade. We say goodbye. And ask but one thing. Remember us.
That was surprisingly moving. I really liked it. I'm not sure why it was made. Maybe is it like a promotional material many years later, but I'm here for it. I'm so glad they did. And now I'm going to look into some of the viewing order options for Space 1999 Year 1. I'm sure there are more than what I cover here, and I might have gotten something wrong because I'm a new fan, as you know. literally just watched it for the first time. So feel free to add lots of comments about your favorite way to watch it, anything that I got wrong. I'm sure there's something. In case anyone missed it, I watched year one simply in the order that I bought it because I wanted to avoid accidentally spoiling myself by seeing episode synopsises. And the problem with trying to sort through, oh, this is the viewing order, I need to find this episode, is you accidentally read stuff about the episode. So I've put together an Excel sheet with the name of the episode and some of the various viewing order options that I can sort by. I love Excel. I don't know how anyone survived without it. Oh, and I also wrote my own synopsis for each episode, which might be vaguely amusing, so I'm going to read a couple of them to you. Cool, friendly aliens on their way to Earth help take out the slimy politician guy. Miss Havisham waits for John and then her people ascend. Helena and Sanja get cute cavewoman outfits, and the fog is evil. Darner Party spaceship has a weird religion. St. George and the Dragon in space. As you can tell, these are purely to trigger my own memories and not really meant for public view, but I thought you might find them amusing. Obviously, Breakaway is the first episode. There's no way around that. You gotta watch it first. But what about the final episode? I watched The Last Enemy. Production order, The Testament of Arcadia. UK release, The Last Enemy. The chronological, and this is by Powys Media, I put a link down in the description to them, also has The Testament of Arcadia. All right, so which one do you think works better? I really love the huge reveal of Arcadia, that the people of Earth came from there. I think it would be a really strong way to end year one with that just, what moment? However, the final few scenes of that episode, to me, are a little bit weaker. They're talking about Adam and Eve, and it doesn't feel as large of a scope. So if that ended year one, I would definitely be satisfied, but also it wouldn't feel as much like a conclusion. For The Last Enemy, the final few scenes really felt like an end of season episode. They were talking about how they needed to find a new home, how they were probably better off staying on the moon until they found the perfect place. And there was that beautiful scene between Helena and Koenig that I feel like was a stronger ending. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm very biased because I loved the costuming in that episode. And if you put those two side by side, I would prefer Last Enemy. Either of them works. They're both good episodes to end with, but I'm going to give my vote to Last Enemy. What do you think? Put in the comments if you prefer Testament of Arcadia and why. I'm very curious. Would love to hear your thoughts. I'm going to look at the production order now. The first two episodes match up. For me, Black Sun came a lot later, and in this order, it was really early on. I kind of liked that it would be early on because it would make a little bit more sense chronologically, and also it's such a strong episode. It's number 2 for me. Having that right away in the season would have hooked me. I mean, obviously I was hooked from the first episode, but you know what I mean. So I think I like that order better. Ring Around the Moon, it's a episode. I really loved Helena. Thought she was outstanding. But I liked that actually I saw it much later, not number 4, because by then I was really connected to her and wanted her to get better. Whereas earlier on I was like, okay, what was her name? I don't think it would have worked as well. Earthbound, it looks like, was another early episode in this timeline. I agree with that because the aliens were on their way to Earth, so it makes sense that they would be a lot closer, right? So I think this works better earlier. Another Time, Another Place, and Missing Link I saw much later. Those are 2 episodes where I feel like they could happen at any time in the viewing order, so The Last Sunset I watched way later than the production order. Again, I'm so sorry. I kind of like that I watched it much later because I adored all the characters by then, and getting to see them just relaxing and having fun, and like Paul and Sandra. It was just such a fantastic episode that I feel like would not have had the same impact early on. Collision Course, I watched a lot earlier, and I know this is going to get a lot of people upset, but I like that I saw it earlier because I feel like it had a lot of lore and it really encapsulates the feel of Space 1999, the philosophy, the way the show is structured. I like that I saw it early. Death's Other Dominion, that's another one where it was supposed to be much later. I like that Brian Blessed showed up that soon. I'm sorry. I don't want to wait for Brian Blessed, okay? I like it early. So I disagree with the order there. I prefer mine. The Last Enemy in production order looks like it was 18, so a few more away from the end. We've already discussed that though. I like it at the end. It feels like Dragon's Domain really should be pretty early on though to me, because the spaceship graveyard was kind of near Earth, and then they had traveled so far, it would have had a really odd feel to it if it was later on, because I would have been like, how did it get all the way out here? I don't know. But because I saw it as episode number 8 in my view order, it was like, huh, that's pretty far away, but all right, I'll give it to you. On to the UK release order. It looks like the first big deviation was War Games. I saw that a lot later. I think that works early on. Yeah, I agree with that. Voyager's Return, much earlier. I think that makes sense because it was an Earth ship. A lot of these match up. I would say this is the closest to the order that I watched it in. There's only a few changes. And the changes that I'm seeing make sense to me. Like this order release, I like it. Okay, Chronological from Powys Media, Breakaway. All right, Earthbound. Oh, wow, number 2. Interesting. That makes total sense. Black Sun is pretty early. Yeah, again, I like that change. I prefer that early on. Interesting. The I Dream of Jeannie Missing Link episode is number 7. Huh. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, here's another big one. Last Sunset, number 11. It's still fairly early on, but I can see it as number 11. I still prefer it later. Collision Course is much later. Death's Other Dominion, number 14. I mean, I get why they have it that way, because we did have a lot of reveals at the end of that episode that make more sense later on. I'm just so biased because I love Brian Blessed. So I'm just going to admit to that bias and say, okay, I grant you it should be later, but I don't want it to be. Oh, War Games is later on as well in the chronological order. Last Enemy is at 18. The Infernal Machine is 21. Interesting. That one was an intriguing concept, and I thought it really was a thought-provoking episode, but it's not one of my favorites. Mission of the Darians is 22? I don't know. I really want to make the headdress. It's taking a lot of self-control not to go to the fabric store and get the materials because it is gorgeous. Dragon's Domain is 23? What? I don't know. That would have been a really weird one to have as the penultimate episode. I'm sorry. Although I kind of like the fact that they had basically St. George and a magical being next to the Testament of Arcadia with the like arcane wizards going on, like space wizards and dragons. So I'm going to just call this particular viewing order the D&D viewing order because it ends with the magic episodes. I'm going to resort as my actual viewing order and then see which one I like the best. I think I'm going to go with chronological with a few caveats. I think Collision Course should be earlier. That's just my preference. Or we just lean fully into the magic and we put Collision Course right after Dragon's Domain. So it goes Dragon's Domain, Collision Course, Space Wizards. And you know what? Let's just group it all together. Troubled Spirit, Collision Course, Dragon's Domain, Testament of Arcadia. Just end it with a D&D fest. The best, most magical episodes of the series just all clumped together. You're probably like, this is so wrong. We can call it the Alexa viewing order option. You can just add that to your list. Next week, I will be starting year 2, and then after that, we're going to be doing UFO.